I've never been the biggest fan of Marshall tones.
You take that back!
For me, Metallica's Mesa Boogie tone is the pinnacle. Master of Puppets and Justice for All, I just really love the big guitar sound they've gotten. And Marshall's almost the complete opposite of that. I've looked at a ton of Marshall tones on this channel, but it's got me thinking, if I wanted to flip that narrative, which albums would I look to? You could point to Megadeth. I recently did a video on Peace Sells. That one was okay. You could look at Anthrax, Exodus, they've also used Marshall their entire career. But there's one band that's become the pinnacle of an aggressive Marshall tone. I asked you guys which album tone you guys wanted to see next, and you overwhelmingly voted for Slayer's Rain and Blood. Today I wanted to see if Rain and Blood's Marshall-centered tone actually impressed me. And I'm going to build it at home with plugins I already have. The goal here isn't to recreate Rain and Blood perfectly. I'm not chasing screenshots of EQ curves and album matched IRs. I love to put the tone puzzle together piece by piece, pun intended. I want to show you guys that you can get a believable version of this album's tone with plugins everyone has access to. I'm going to start with one amp and see how far that gets me. From there, I'll use my ears and decide what comes next. So we all know Slayer. Rain and Blood came out in 1986. They started recording between January and March at Hit City West Studios in Los Angeles. I didn't realize this, but the first two albums have been produced by Brian Slagle, and they didn't get a really good production on it. So Brian Slagle was shopping them around to different labels so that they could take the next leap in their career. And that's when they found Rick Rubin at Def Jam, who was definitely not known for metal at the time, but it made for a really interesting pairing. He would be the producer on Rain and Blood, and he would get them a really unique sound that they hadn't had before. And it really fit their tighter, more aggressive guitar riffs that they were making at the time. Hey, real quick, I just want to take a second. If you're watching this video, please do subscribe. I want to hit 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And if you like what you're watching and you want to see more really fun guitar content, hit subscribe so you don't miss out. Thank you. I already have everything pre-recorded right here. So before I forget, I actually did record this with my BC Rich Warlock. Pickups aren't as great as I want them to be, but I think they sound pretty killer here. Slayer's known for ESP guitars, but at this time, they were using BC Rich guitars. As you can see, I mean, Kerry King's got the fucking sweet Warlock. I love Warlocks, as you guys know. And, I mean, obviously, it's also Jackson here, but I think he was using a Mockingbird. He might have switched between both of them in this era. I mean, really, the guitar doesn't matter as much as the amp, and more importantly, the guitar cabinet. I'm going to pull up a Marshall. So I'm going to pull up the Hybrid. It is a free plugin that anyone can get. I think it's awesome. It has a great sound. It's not too gain heavy, which I don't think this album really needs. And I'm going to use NAD-IR to load a few Marshall IRs, and we can tweak with it and see what the sound sounds like. Yeah, so I'm going to put it on this track. I'll just do that so we can get a nice feel for what this is going to sound like. So here I got the Hybrid drive, pretty high up, not too bad. Got the JCM boost, bass around 4, mids around 7, treble around 7, and then for NAD-IR, I have a V30. I have V30s. I mean, they're a great sounding speaker. I mean, it's the industry standard now for metal as well. SM57, U87. I did this a lot on Metallica tones. I don't know why I like the combo. I just think it sounds good. I am not a music producer, so I don't have any inside knowledge. I just think it sounds good. That's what I go for most of the time. Slayer has always been a Marshall JCM 800 band. I mean, Kerry even has his own signature model now. I believe Jeff does as well. They've always been the Marshall guys. I could be wrong. I don't think they've ever strayed away from Marshall. And it contrasts greatly from the Mesa Boogie Metallica sound. That's mid-scooped, heavy, aggressive, where the Marshall sound is really mid-focused, and it doesn't get, in my opinion, it does, like, I feel like Metallica sounds a lot wider, and when you're listening to Slayer, it's a lot more narrow. Still just as aggressive, just not as big sounding as the Mesa Boogie you can get. And I think it's just because the Marshall is more mid-focused. And to pair with their Marshall amps, they've always used Marshall cabs. I believe it says somewhere on here that it's just a generic Marshall cab with whatever speaker was in there. Yeah, stock Marshall 4x12s. Doesn't list the exact ones, but I mean, at that time, it was probably Celestians or the G12s, the 75s, the 65s. I think you can get a pretty comparable sound no matter what. So I think that sounds good. See if we can fuck with that a little bit. Definitely needs a lot more gain. So let's put on a TSC 808, also free. I think it's really great. Sounds really good. Yeah, there we go. And then because it was Rick Rubin producing, he wanted them to have a more stripped down sound. He didn't want them going crazy. He wanted them to have the least amount of effects as possible. He wanted them to focus on tight guitar playing. The last two, I know Hell Awaits had a lot of reverb. I don't know about the first one. I think it did. I'd have to go back and research that. But I know they used more effects on the first two, and that the production wasn't as good. So for this one, they went bare bones, basically. I mean, as you can see, it's just a tube screamer. I'm going to add an EQ at the end. They might have did this, they might not have done this. I like to do this because it just really tames a lot of the sound. And I think the last thing it needs, I don't know if they did this in 1986, but I know Slayer uses an EQ 4 cable method, I believe, into their Marshalls to add some of the mids in before the amp. And then I don't know if they scoop it out on the amp face, but I know they try to hit it a little bit harder before the amp. And that gives it a little more gain as well. Let's see what it sounds like in context with all the other guitars. I think I like that a lot. What surprised me the most isn't how close I got, it was how easy it all came together. Some of these tones can be really tricky to make, and I'm surprised this one didn't hear. You guys won't be able to hear this. Maybe I'll put it up on Patreon, because I'm not going to get a copyright strike, but I'm going to test it against, I already recorded it, against Slayer's Rain and Blood, just to see if I like it. I mean, to me that sounds really fucking close. I like that a lot. I need to export this. The final test that I don't usually do, but I'm learning that I need to do, is I need to export this. And I need to hear it outside of Reaper, because I don't know if there's like different bitrate quality or whatever happens when you export it from this and listen to it just through the computer, like through Windows Media Player, or when I put it into DaVinci Resolve, it sounds way different. And that's when I really hear the tones. I'm like, shit, was this as good as I thought it was? So I'm gonna export it really quick, listen to it in the context. Outside of Reaper, this tone actually holds together better than I expected. The mid-focus of the Marshall really works here. It's not the sound that I naturally reach for, but I get why it works for Slayer. Oh, just to make sure I test this thoroughly, I'm going to use the $130 Nambrini just to see if I like it more. I think that'll be a good test. I didn't want to chase a different tone here. This was just me checking myself. I wanted to make sure the hybrid actually sounded as good as I thought, and I felt like a competitor would help me decide that. Just to make sure I really like this tone before we call it a day. There you can see like the sound quality is just way different. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, definitely the sound quality is a lot better. Maybe more mid. Let me take this tone and test it against Rain and Blood to see if I can get a good sound here. Just to make sure we cover all the bases. I really love the hybrid sound I got. Oh yeah, you guys can hear that. I like that one a lot. I'm gonna, once again, I'm gonna put it on all these tracks and see how it sounds. Maybe we'll have to render it. I guess when I say I like it compared to the tone. For Marshall tone, I don't know how I feel about it. Stop, I'm recording again. I'm gonna render it and then I will come back. So here's the thing. The Nimbrini MRH A10 is a really good amp. It's tighter, more controlled, and the aggression feels a little bit easier to manage. But when I go back to the hybrid, there's just something rougher there. I really think it fits the character of the album. So for me, it's not actually about which amp is better, but which one really fits the character of Rain and Blood. I don't know what it is about this hybrid. I think it really comes up big in a lot of different cases. And if you guys are interested in this tone, seeing it a little more in depth, I am going to release Tone Crypt Volume 3 based specifically around this tone and this album's creation. So if you're interested in that, it's on my Patreon. Now we're going to head over to a full demo mix. It's not a real mix because I'm not a fucking producer. It's a demo mix. I want you guys to see what they both sound like in context with all the instruments playing. And hopefully better recorded guitars. So, did Rain and Blood change my mind on Marshall tones? Kind of, not exactly. It still doesn't sound as wide as I want it to. I think I appreciate the aggressiveness of this tone a little bit more. I don't think it's my favorite Slayer Marshall sound. I think that definitely goes to South of Heaven. Something about that reverby sound, or maybe just because I love that album so much, it just sounds like a little bit better, which is weird because it doesn't have that less is more approach that they were going for in this album. I think there will be a Marshall tone that does impress me, and I'll keep searching for it. For me, this one doesn't beat out the Mesa Boogie Metallica sound. But I finally get why this tone works. It doesn't fight the aggressive riffs, and it really works well for them. And I guess like a bigger, wider, like Metallica sounding guitar sound for Rain and Blood wouldn't work. But hey, that's why they're different bands. They don't make the same music, and they don't get produced the same way. So I get it. Let me know what you thought of my two tones down in the comments, what I could have done better, and let me know which album you want to see next. Maybe it's a Marshall tone that you want me to check out that you think will impress me. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I really appreciate that. If you are interested and you did like what you were watching, please go check out my Patreon and my YouTube membership. On there, you'll get early access to videos, discounts on the guitar tones I make, and other stuff on my store. You'll get shoutouts in video, quarterly Q&As, and you'll get some extra bonus content that will be out on my second channel like 3 months after it's released for my Patreon subscribers. So if you're interested in any of that, please do go check it out. It really helps me a ton. If you enjoyed this video, I want you to check out this one right here. Fucking love that album. I think it's my favorite Slayer album, and I really love the guitar tone on there. So if you like this video, I think you'll enjoy that one. Again, thank you for watching. You're awesome. I'll see you in the next video. Stay metal. Peace.